In this video everyone, we are going to be going over the latest Minecraft Caves and Cliffs update snapshot 21W17A. We've been waiting for this, and if you saw yesterday's video, we actually predicted one of the new items that has arrived in this snapshot, the new raw block textures. But not only that everyone, we did get quite a lot more. So in this video, I'm going to be breaking it down and showing you every single new feature of interest that we actually got in this snapshot. So if you do go on to enjoy the video, be sure to drop it a like and subscribe if you're new around here. But without wasting any more time, let's get right into the features. Now let's begin with the new raw block textures. Now you might have been able to tell in my voice, but I was not actually surprised at this at all. I know that some of you that do not keep all the way into depth with what's going on in Minecraft and do not care about every single little change, you might not have actually realised this, but ItzJhief has been tweeting out for weeks now about variations of the new raw block textures, and today we got the latest iteration. In this snapshot though, all that's really changed is the colour of it a little bit, the textures have changed around, and I do think that these will be the final versions. ItzJhief has actually tweeted out now quite a few times that he wants these to be the final version so that he can move on to other projects. ItzJhief is a busy man and he's got a lot of things to do, got a lot of projects to work on, so hopefully these are the final raw block textures we actually see. In my opinion, they look perfectly fine, they look perfectly Minecrafty. I've got not one problem to do with any of these textures, so now I just hope that ItzJhief can move on. But if we take a quick look at the patch notes, it actually says a delicious snapshot appears. This snapshot introduces some tweaks to the raw ore textures, a few copper changes, and the introduction of Noodle caves, which we'll be getting onto in a second. And it's changes in 21W17A. Small drip leaves can now also be placed on moss blocks, which is cool. Copper ore drops 2 to 3 raw copper when mined, or more when using a tool enchanted with fortune. Copper blocks are now crafted from 9 copper ingots. So if we take a look over there real quick, we've actually got one of the copper blocks that is already starting to age somehow, which definitely is pretty weird. And then we have actually got the iron ore, and this is pretty interesting because the changes to the copper have been made with Eric Crafts to make it a bit more traditional, a bit more, you know, traditionally Minecrafty. Whereas over here, we've had some changes to the raw copper and a bunch of other things like that, which is definitely very cool. And they have also tweaked the texture of raw metal blocks, which is, you know, obviously we talked about that, and as you can see, there's an amazing wall of raw metal right there. Just in case you did not know this fun fact, these blocks are actually meant to look like a pile of the raw ores. So if we get some of them here, like maybe get a few more, like a lot of them, and we throw some down in a minute, you can actually see that if you look close, you can kind of see this texture reflected in the block. And then if we get the raw iron, you can see it literally in the block, and if we get the raw copper, you can see it. So this is definitely some very cool changes that I am, you know, very fond of. Not only that everyone, but if you get the latest data pack and install it, if you do not know how, I might do a video on that in the future if you are interested. But if we take a look around, you can actually start to see some of the new Noodle caves that have been added. Now I saw a really cool tweet, I believe it's from Heinrich, so if you've not already saw that, you can check it out. I'll put a link down below in the description to the Twitter, that's if I do actually remember. But they actually went exploring caves in real life, and they quickly discovered that caves are not these giant open areas like we can see down there. Caves are very compact and very claustrophobic, so whereas a lot of people would like to think that caves actually look like this, where they look a lot more open and there's a lot more breathing room, Mojang actually discovered that they're, you know, caves are creeping, caves are scary, and caves are hard to get through and they're a challenge. So that is why they added these Noodle caves, which as you can see start to get compact and really cramped, and you have to squeeze your way through all the way down to here, where, well, I guess it's worth the reward. There is diamonds there. but if you look around you can start to see these offsets where they're a bit tighter, and these look absolutely awesome. I love flying around and seeing them. I think they just look really awesome and they just look really cool. They really add to the atmosphere as well. They're like, just look at this, it's incredible the way it stretches around. But yeah, you can start to get a feel for what the Caves and Cliffs update is really going to be like, and this just gets me so much more excited to see this. And I just think it is really cool that Mojang actually went out in real life testing these and got this bit of experience so that they could make these caves as awesome as possible. Some final changes though, the large ore veins have been tweaked. So obviously if you saw in the last video, the large ore veins were a bit of a joke. They were all over the place. People were reporting like veins of 13,000 iron ore in one single vein, all connected to each other. So that obviously was fixed, and Mojang added a thinner, squigglier and more claustrophobic variant of the spaghetti caves, which we just mentioned and talked about. Large ore veins are now slightly rarer and slightly smaller, but they are still large. The ores in the vein are clumpier and less evenly distributed, so they're a lot more stuck together and it's a lot easier to continue your way through the vein. And if you're lucky, you may find a raw ore block in the vein, which is definitely really cool. It's just kind of interesting to imagine that all of these ores have gathered underground to make a raw block, and you can actually find one underground. It's just something very cool and very interesting you can actually look out for. But that is it for this video, everyone. That is it for this snapshot. Let me know what you think of it down below in the comments. I am right now on the latest data pack, and as I said, if you do not know how to install them and if you're having a bit of trouble, maybe I'll do a video on it if enough of you are interested. But let me know, most importantly, down below in the comments what you think of this snapshot. I've got an awesome video coming out tomorrow, everyone, so if you do not want to miss it, be sure you subscribe with that notification bell on. And I'm a ghost. I'll see you all tomorrow. Goodbye.